Welcome back, Panther fans. I'm David Brown here with Ryan Graham,
Hey, y'all.
Tim Thurber,
Hello.
and this is a very delayed State of Atlanta. Man, I don't know if it's just me, but Tim, you are loud. You are loud. Is it?
Yeah. Yes. Muffled.
How about now?
It's still loud.
It's still pretty loud. I wonder if you got to check your mic settings to see if you're on the right mic. Anyway, we don't have to do this now.
Anyhow.
I mean, you do, but
No.
we don't.
Right. So welcome back, guys. Obviously a professional operation here as we do our testing as we're broadcasting.
Nice.
Awesome.
A day early.
A day early, holiday coming up, traveling going on, and so recording on Monday. I guess it's a chance for people to listen to it a little bit earlier since probably not going to do a lot of podcast listening on Thursday on Turkey Day.
And we really just have like a pile of games to go through.
Oh my God, so many games and
Lots of games.
Most of them, and I don't really think I want to talk about a lot of them.
Oh, we won half
Two
of
of
them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys want to do? You want to do football? You want to do basketball?
Let's do football first, right? I mean, that's
All right. Get that out of the way.
Let's not do
Yeah.
football first.
Do
All
we
right.
no, let's get it out of the way. Let's get it out of the way.
Get it out of the way. Yeah. I will spend a lot of time on basketball. So the one team outside of the trash down south that I really, really, really wanted to beat this season was James Madison. Just because they're being the move up, the startup. I shouldn't say startup. They're not a startup. They've been playing forever. But the move up from FCS, we've struggled with FCS teams our entire time of playing football. So them joining the conference, this was a big win for me. I wanted us to win this game, just to establish that, hey, you may have done a lot of stuff, well back in the past, but you're now on a different level, and you got to be able to beat us. And that is not what happened at all.
Well, you had to feel pretty good about it for the first two quarters, right? I mean, like
Felt really good.
We were like dominating. We were dominating. No other word to describe it. We were killing them.
Then 28 unanswered points to begin the second half.
Yeah, that's what was wild is I was actually talking to a buddy of mine over the weekend, and I was like, we had seen the domination in the beginning of that game, and so like even though I know that Georgia teams give it up, Georgia State teams specifically give it up there at the end, I still held out hope because I was like, in this game we have played lights out. There's no reason we can't bring it back somehow. We had 2 scooping scores. Crazy.
It's
2.
It's absurd.
Almost 3.
It's absurd.
2 forced
fumbles.
And it's almost like one of those movies you watch, right? Like a classic movie where you know it's going to happen, and you're like, yeah, but it'd be so cool if I'm watching this movie, and it's just a different ending, and then it's like I watched this movie twice this season, maybe 3 times. I don't know. We go up big, and then something at halftime just doesn't work.
Yeah, the defense just got on the bus and headed back to Atlanta before at halftime. Apparently, I mean that's the only excuse. I mean, this is the second game.
The offense never really existed. If we're being really honest here, because I mean, Granger did typical Granger stuff. The very first play of scrimmage was him overthrowing a long ball. I mean, it was like,
of course,
I saw it and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, that's Darren Granger.
14 of those first half points were the scooping scores, were defense forcing a fumble and scooping it up and taking it to the end zone. The offense didn't do a whole heck of a lot for the whole game.
Right.
And then we turn around and ask them to do things.
Yeah.
They can do them.
Even our running game did not do much. Tucker Gregg was kept in check hugely. Thrash, I think, was the only one that had any kind of decent stat line with four catches for something over 100 yards.
Yeah, it's frustrating. This is the second game this season where we've scored 40 or more points and not won the game. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Not a good stat to own, right?
I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it. But we're now bowl ineligible. We're not going to go to a bowl game. I mean, outside
feels
of
weird.
I mean, I don't know what it looks like for the rest of the league, but there's always that 5-7 team that kind of makes it in. Like when we played was San Jose State in the first bowl game, but that's such a crapshoot. I'm not even thinking about that really. It's done. We're not going to a bowl. Everyone can make their Christmas plans, their holiday plans without any further ado. But it's a bummer, man. We said beginning of the season that bowl eligibility, 6-6 season is the absolute bare minimum for this program, and did not achieve it. That's really I mean, that's Monroe and that's Charlotte. Monroe and Charlotte puts us at bowl eligibility, even with the James Madison loss. So, which just
with
means
how many
ahead.
returning seniors though? I mean, like what percentage of an 8-5 team
this
came
was
back?
Our best, This was our best team we've ever fielded. This was the absolute most talent we've ever put on the field as a Georgia State program, and
it's over.
And we regressed. We last season was our best record ever, and now we're back to twiddling our thumbs in the offseason, which means that we're going to blow the pants off of Marshall next week, because that's just the Georgia State way. We've secured bowl ineligibility. All right, cool. We're putting up 60 points against the Thundering Herd, no doubt about it.
Yeah,
that's my projection. Take the over.
I think the team is probably somewhere in between last year and this year. I think last year they overperformed to end the season, and this year they are definitely underperforming. And I don't necessarily think it's the players either.
Oh no, this is coaching, right, Tim?
Coaching,
all coaching.
Yeah.
No, it's some on the players too. I mean, Granger is Granger. I don't know.
It's not his fault. He shouldn't be put in this position. He shouldn't be out there. He should not be out there.
There's an argument to be stated for that. Yeah, and he's going to come back.
True.
He didn't participate in the senior day when we hosted Monroe. Back in what was that 2 weeks ago, because we have to end our season 2 weeks. Oh yeah, we end our season. I've complained about this all season long with 2 away games. James Madison, the newbie, one of the newbies to the conference, they end their season with 2 home games. Yeah. I mean, the Sun Belt is
carpet from the Sun Belt, right?
Exactly, a purple carpet.
The Sun Belt did confirm that not only can JMU not be bowl eligible, they will not be receiving a division title either, because they clarified that the only reason to have a division title is because of who can be in the championship, and because they can't be in a championship, they cannot take a division title either.
Double whammy.
That's new. That's new, because that was not what had been stated previously, or had not been like unstated. It was that they could still win the East, but not represent the East in the conference because of NCAA's postseason ban on move ups. All right.
Nope. So, that was a statement they made on Twitter, and I saw on the Sun Belt Discord.
Well, then they need to actually. I haven't gone to that thing in a long time. They need to drop James Madison to the bottom of the rankings. Then they should be bottom of the East.
They said no. Specifically said they can be number 1 in the we might call them number 1, but they will not be division champ, the Eastern Division champ. They can't be.
Yeah,
I thought it was solid.
Even if they're number 1, they're not the champ.
So this matchup doesn't matter then, right? They have the last game.
So it's kind of cool. It's kind of funny the way that the schedule worked out then, because now if JMU was not banned from the postseason for this season, this game would be Coastal versus JMU. It's effectively a conference playoff game right here this week to see who makes it in. So JMU can still finish at the top of the Sun Belt, but the Coastal has won the Sun Belt East.
Can they?
And will play.
They can't spoil it for Coastal.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
All right, so Coastal,
they're safe. Yeah.
But then in the West, it's up for grabs. Troy and South Alabama both are tied right now.
We had that on their bingo card.
No one.
Troy and South Alabama.
I think before Billy Napier left Louisiana or Lafayette, sorry, no disrespect to them, Lafayette. I think, no one expected Troy or USA to be at the top of it. But I think going into the season, a lot of people didn't. I want to say one of those 2 schools had a first place vote in the coaches poll for the West. I think so.
I don't know.
I think so. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, I want to say so. But Troy owns the tiebreaker against South Alabama in a real barn burner they had earlier this season with a win of 10-6.
Hey, those
So
big
Heavy
defensive,
defense.
those big defensive struggles. I like those games. I think
those are your
they're
games,
good.
right?
I know people complain about them. I think they're good games.
Your dream championship game is a 3-0 win. You
Two-
know,
We had
2-0,
we had
2-0.
that LSU Bama game from a
with
few
9-6,
years ago.
6-9,
I think it was
like that.
It was
Yeah.
all field goals or something. It was stupid,
Mhm.
and everyone complained about it. And I was like, "This was fantastic. I loved it. I loved every second of that game."
I want points through the air, specifically.
Cheering
I
for
like sacks.
cheering for a field goal when it's like a game winner or something like that. That's a rush. It's an excitement. You're holding on. You're like, this should be a kick. This should be made. It's good, and it happens. You're relieved and everything. But when you're sitting there watching, you're in the fourth quarter of a national championship game, and you're kind of like, oh, we can take the lead at a 6-6 game. Like, I get a field goal. You're kind of like, yay. I'm so glad we're winning in this absolute shit show of a game. So,
No, that's not what they
yeah.
were thinking. Come on, fans were like, you got to score that. That's all.
I don't know.
Points. Take the
They're
points. There's not a lot of points to be had. You got to take every last one you can. You got to squeeze that juice.
Squeeze that juice.
Yeah.
That's Bama and LSU fans. They're not the most intelligent bunch out there. But back to state. Marshall's favored by 6 points. ESPN gives them a 71% chance of winning. So yeah,
Sounds
I agree. I mean, I restate what I said earlier. We win this game by like 20 or 30 points. And that's just the way it is.
I'm on board.
It's absolutely a pointless win. It means absolutely nothing other than just, a check mark in the win column and some individual stats for the players. But yeah, we're going to win this game. We're going to win it big. Was it noon on this Saturday? What a great time.
Yeah.
I
have no clue. I have no clue, but I wouldn't be surprised if we pull a W just to like throw some salt in that wound, getting to 5.
Right. Now that I say that, we're going to lose by, a crap ton. But I just feel like that's the way Georgia State is. That's the way teams I follow are. They just, once they're out of it, they turn the season around. They win big. So that just makes that Charlotte loss so much worse, and that Monroe loss so much worse. Yeah.
I really thought we were going to win the last 2 games. I thought we were kind of not turning a corner so much, but at least staying on some kind of decent trajectory to get to 6. And no.
I will say one thing. I think that we did what we needed to do to get the JMU fans really, really drunk. Because I have a friend of mine who was a JMU fan here in Atlanta, and she was organizing a watch party for their team, and for their fans, and they wanted us to be involved. And I was like, yeah, we don't want to go to a place where we're going to be outnumbered. And I guarantee you got more people that show up to a JMU watch party in Atlanta than we can get from Georgia State. Anyhow, I messaged her after the game. I was like, it looks like because I did not get to watch this game. I was on a day date with my wife at a bourbon festival, and that's a great topic for last call. But so I missed the game. So I messaged her. I'm like, hey, looks like it was a good game. And she must have been so plastered. She just replied back with, wrong, check the box score. We won. I'm like, yeah, I know you won. I'm saying it looked like it was an entertaining game to watch. I'm trying to be friendly right now. And I never got a reply back from her. She was hammered. And she's a sweet girl. It's so sweet. Like, I've never had her say anything like that. I know, right? She's actually a Georgia State alum. She got her master's degree from Georgia State. So anyhow, all right.
Did she throw some streamers?
Probably.
That's their shtick. It's kind of interesting.
It was weird. Those little yellow paper streamers. They just start popping up all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently that's a big point of contention for some fans. I've seen other Sunbelt fans complaining about this season, saying like, how, hey, grow up, you're not FCS anymore. I have no problem with that. If that's your thing, that's your thing. Do your
streamers?
Thing. Yeah.
No,
whatever.
There's nothing. I don't think that's a grow up comment. Like, it's not. I think it's a little silly or whatever. But like, everyone needs to have their thing. I wish we had our thing.
A thing.
We don't. But it is a little funny looking. But I'm glad they have it. I'm gonna make fun of it anyway because they're an in-conference foe and it's fun to make fun of them. But it's fine.
We have our thing. We have our thing, Ryan. It's called apathy.
Oh.
No, Norm says a lot of whining from JMU fans on the Sunbelt Facebook site, knocking our team, our players.
We were a little
they-
dirty in the game. That was the main whining point, is that we played dirty at times.
How'd
And
we
there
play
was
dirty?
they posted some video clips of tackles with a punch afterwards, and I was like, yeah, that's on video. Can't unexplain
I want to
that
see
one.
that. That's good.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
they're a feckless bunch, but whatever. I think one of the comments I saw something similar, and it was something about like, yeah, well, look where they come from, referring to Atlanta. And I want to point out, like,
too.
I'm like, by the way, we don't actually recruit Atlanta or Georgia, so all these fans came from the Carolinas and Virginia, so maybe some Florida guys. These people are closer to you than they are to us. All right, so don't be hating on the city of Atlanta.
I did respond with someone that posted something about that. I was like, most of our players aren't from here. What are you talking about? Like, that makes no sense. Your argument.
Nope, you've been contaminated. As soon as you drink from Atlanta City water, you're now a degenerate and disgusting, and still
Watch
better
out
if
for
you're
those backwoods South Carolinians. They'll get you.
Exactly. They've been like that. They're kind of a classless group on the social media for the moment they joined the conference, or even the post leading up to it. So whatever. It's another reason why I didn't want them to win. They're not. We're gonna have a very, very good division of fans to really, really root against, and that's probably the only thing good about it, is really hating the fans. I like that part.
We're definitely not a finesse team. We are a smack you in the mouth physical team. So we're not interested in that style of play. Can't wait for basketball. Right. It should be double.
Oh God, yeah. I think they're first in basketball. Well, not that conference matters right now, because it's all out of conference games. So I think James Madison has the best record in basketball, but they've played fewer games. So, all right, I got to put this up here because Grant has posted it in Facebook twice and on YouTube once. We are the Atlanta Falcons 2.0 this season. Yeah, I know.
I love the Falcons are better though.
Yeah. We're just
the Falcons won this weekend though, right?
Oh man, and the Bears fans are losing their minds over it. They think that we're talking trash about that. I'm like, no, every once in a while we accidentally win a game. It just happened to be one yesterday. All right, we can put football to rest. We got Matt Marshall on Saturday. We're gonna win in a landslide, and we won't play in a bowl game, and we'll be talking about how great we're gonna be next season, all off season. Right? That's it.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
Excellent. All right, basketball. The big thing, the multi-team events. This weekend we had some teams that nobody really gives a crap about come into Atlanta. Man, that first game. So I only got to go to the Eastern Kentucky game. That first game, up by 20 points at the half. How are you feeling, guys?
Fantastic with all the beer.
Yeah, Ryan wasn't watching or drinking, or wasn't watching or there, so it doesn't matter.
What?
Yeah, Tim, we're up 20.
The first game?
Were you there?
I was at the first game. I wasn't at the second game, and I was at the third game.
Oh yeah, you were at the first game. We went together.
I was at the first game. Why are you giving me shit, man? I've been going to a bunch of games. I've been to more games than I haven't been to this season.
When I was preparing for this, I kept on confusing that Friday night game with the Mercer game. I don't know why. Like every time I wanted to talk about that big,
that was a good game too.
I wanted to make Ivan Drago references tonight, and I was like, wait a minute, I did all those last week. That game was last week. But yeah, so Ryan was there. Eastern Kentucky game. But yeah, we were feeling pretty good about it. Up 20 points, and then we did not even score 20 points in the second half.
Yeah, they were that was I thought it was a fun game to watch just because Lanier actually promised the Eastern Kentucky style of play way back when he got hired, and I don't feel like we ever got it, but they were like, VCU reminiscent, and I feel like they stepped it up, and at the end there, they got aggressive as all get out, and I mean, there wasn't an inbound that wasn't challenged throughout the entire game, and it was just a lot of fun to watch, and they at the end there, they brought it within that one score and then made that crazy ass shot.
Like 6 points in 8 seconds.
Amazing. I mean, I looked over. I think I said, I think this is in the bag. They cannot score enough points to win this, right? And by golly, they proved me wrong.
if you were to have a camera following us around, Ryan, for that game when we went into the pack thing beforehand, and Jarvis came in there, Jarvis, not Jonas, as he established, Jarvis came in there, Coach Jarvis Hayes, and he says this is a great shooting team. They shot 25 3-pointers and and made them last year in a game. This is a great shooting team. That if you're making a documentary and following us around, that's called foreshadowing and setting up the fact that later in the movie, when we lose that game by a deep three, that was what it was. So
Well, that was
they
the
know how to shoot
other
the ball.
side of the court three, not a deep three. I mean, that was like a.
And it was
Beyond
ESPN's
that
top play.
court.
It was
There's nothing
ESPN's
but
top
net.
play of the day.
Yeah.
There was like Saturday morning when I got up, obviously I have ESPN on, and my wife asked me to change the kid's diaper, and it was right when the top plays of the day or top plays of the week, whatever it's called, came on. I'm like, wait, Georgia State's going to be in this, and she's like, really? I'm like, it's not for a good reason. And sure enough, 10, 9, some lacrosse game, some volleyball game, some kids t-ball game, blah 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 blah. Number 1. There it is, the Convocation Center, the box, Georgia State, all on the
Hey,
court. You see this
at least our arena looked good.
Yeah.
Hopefully somebody was like, man, they have a nice arena. That looks good.
Yeah,
Sucks
right.
they lose in there.
I didn't watch the play. I was just looking at the arena.
Wait,
No,
they're
but
in Atlanta.
their 3-point percent was higher than their field goal percent. They were 3-point out of control. They just, I mean, there were times where they were like over 50 during the game. Yeah, yes, Tim, that it's a true stat. You can go look at it. It's crazy.
It's not.
Can we
it
get?
It was up until like the very end. Then
Yeah. I think the key stat for us was we were 100% from the line going to that last free throw. And it's like you can't miss. No, you missed it. You can't miss that. You have to get it.
Yeah. Well, and that was like the only free throw that was missed or something like that. It was ridiculous.
The only one.
I mean, yeah, Odom was lights out at the line, and then missed the last one that mattered the most.
But we were still, and I know that we had, was it 2 or 3 of our starters that ended up having to leave the game because of injury. But man, like you're up 20 points in the first half, but you don't score 20 points in the second half. That's how you lose a game. You don't score as many points as you're up by. You're going to lose that game.
You deserve to lose at that point. Yeah. I think that's what I wrote after the game 2 minutes later. Yeah. It was painful to watch, though.
Julian says that his friends are calling the Convocation or the Amazon warehouse. We called it the warehouse, but we went back. We went to the box. I like the box better than the warehouse.
I want to be put to work, though.
And not in those conditions. But all right, so we focused a lot on that loss. We rebounded. We won the next 2 games against A&M Commerce and UNC Asheville. We're 4-2 on the season, and with a combined losing score of what we lost by 3 points total. Right? Is that what it is? We've lost our 2 games by a combined of 3 points.
Yeah.
I think that maybe I set my expectations too high. I loved the hire of Coach Hayes. And I, loved what he did with the guys he brought in, and then specifically also the guys that he has on deck to come in next year. And so I think I set my expectations up super duper high. But if you look at it from, take a step back and look at it, the team's looking good. They're finding their path. They played an excellent half of basketball against Eastern Kentucky. I don't know how they only scored 57 points against Commerce. They scored 57 points and won the game. That's a marvel. We scored 57 points. We scored 57 points against somebody else and lost the game. But was it Tech or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, our shooting's just not great. And to Julian, I also made a comment about Odom that it's a rebuild season, but thank goodness for Dwan Odom. Feels like he's the only consistent player on the offense. I mean, throughout the last few games, especially, he's just been like a total workhorse. The one that is making all of the major plays, and the one that when people freak out and need to give the ball to somebody, it's going to Odom. He's the one, charging into the paint. He's the one doing I feel like he's doing he's carrying the team.
I feel like he is pushing.
And we got him for 3 years. So this is just the beginning of something great. He's going to terrorize the Sun Belt for 3 years.
Can you show this to us again? Show us again. Dang, man. You had a good day with the kid,
festive.
Huh?
Wow.
Yeah. So I told my wife, tell me they're different colors on the side. Tell me you're a girl dad without telling me you're a girl dad. My fingernails, I've painted,
every
painted
color.
nails.
A lot of different colors on his fingernails. He held up 3 fingers, and both me and Tim are looking at each other like, "What the hell?"
So I had a meeting with the girls' school today, and I set up my fingers like only 2 times has this happened, and I was like, I guess I'm giving the impression of being a good dad that I'm letting my daughters paint my fingernails. So, yeah,
Well,
go ahead, Tim.
everyone
What do
knows
you
better,
got?
don't worry.
No, I was gonna say, it seemed like
horrible father.
in the last two or three games, it seems like no one wants to have the ball and have to drive. Odom's like, give me the ball, I'll do it.
So everybody's TJ Shipes when RJ did the shot, like when RJ passed the ball, TJ's like, no, you take it. I don't want the ball.
Odom wants it. You can tell.
He does.
I mean, he's like hungry for it. He wants it every single time. He wants the ball, and the team is just more than happy to give it to him. And because they're not rising to the occasion the way that he is. And there's a lot of young talent around him. So I imagine that they'll gain that confidence as the program grows, as like they get coached up. But right now, Odom is just like, he just takes this whole team, puts it on his shoulders, and charges into the paint.
As somebody posted on Panther Talk, I made a good point. I don't like this to be true, but it is true. Out of conference losses really don't matter that much to a Sun Belt team, because we're a one bid league. It all comes down to what happens those 3 or 4 days in March in Pensacola. So, yeah, we're using our out of conference schedule as pretty much an entire preseason. It's just figure out what works, what doesn't work, get those wins. We have Belmont coming up on Sunday, which they're favored to win this game, I think, but they're only 3-3. Excuse me, but I think they have a 54% chance predicted by ESPN to win the game. So I guess they're a good squad.
I would say it's definitely one of our toss-up games coming up. I mean, outside of the barn burners from Middle Georgia and Tacoma Falls.
Yeah.
I mean, the one I find interesting is Northeastern. Like, I think we have like a less than 25% chance to win or something crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so, I mean, I know they're a good team. And then obviously Auburn. If we pull that out, I'll shave my head.
Your head is shaved, Tim. Shave your eyebrows. All right, shave your eyebrows. If we beat
your whole
head,
I want your whole head.
I want.
Woo.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess it was a good week. I mean, they don't. There wasn't a lot of write-up about the multi-team event other than just in an individual game-by-game basis. But I guess technically, if you want to look at records, technically Eastern Kentucky would have won this little scrimmage type thing.
Did they win Did they win all their games?
No, they went 2-1, but we went 2-1. So tiebreaker would go to the team that beat us. So, so this was called the Capital City Classic. Hopefully, it's something that becomes a regular thing. I'd love to be able to host a few teams every season. Yeah, it's classic. It's first time that ever happened. First time ever. It's a classic.
Yeah, hopefully it becomes a classic. I guess. I don't know. The Asheville team was really fun to watch too. I felt like they matched up really well against us, and then for us to pull away at the end felt really good because that whole game. I mean, I looked at their team and I looked at our team. And I was like, that's the same team. Like they just looked very similar. They played very similarly, and to pull out that win there at the end was nice.
Now they had a big on their team that was getting a lot of NBA looks, right?
Oh yeah, there's a scout in front of me taking pictures.
Who was that? Number 3, their 3-point guy that just was draining them.
No, it was a taller guy.
Oh,
not the short one.
He was a taller guy. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, well, they're all taller than us. So,
oh, it's true.
I
was trying to figure it out though. I was watching and I was like, either someone really likes to take a lot of photos of Georgia State basketball, or that's a scout. So, and then I thought, well, maybe it's a scout for the Sun Belt. I'm like, who the hell is gonna come here and watch us play UNC Asheville?
I'll tell you what though, that last game, I ended up going with one of our buddies courtside, and he's better at heckling than I am because I don't know what the hell I'm watching. And it was really funny though, because one time we had the ball and this guy was defending, and my buddy just leans in and just goes, we got you. I can see it in your eyes. And the guy like looks over and makes a face, like breaks his concentration completely and looks over at him and makes a face. He's like, nah. And then like plays. And then there was another one that he there was a big flop by one of the opposing players on the other side of the court. And when he came back over, our buddy yelled something at him, and he looks over dead ass and winks at him. And I was like, you son of a bitch.
I think I know what players are. He definitely flopped.
That little guy, number 10, I think, he 100% flopped, and he got called on it. And he, I swear to God, he looked over and winked, and I was like, "Oh, you little."
Now the question is, did he make sexual advances to the refs this game? I don't know.
Oh, hello.
Oh, is
No?
that a thing?
Sounds like no. Yeah.
Is that a thing?
He told one of the refs he had a nice ass. So I mean, maybe I was trying to get flattery to get fouls.
Oh, you mean our
no
buddy?
fouls? Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. No.
Oh,
Yeah,
I mean,
shoe
well,
fits.
to be fair, did the ref have a nice ass?
That's
Was
what
it
I'm
a
saying.
nice
If the
ass?
shoe fits,
Couldn't tell from
I
the
feel
top.
like
I don't know.
I feel like refs tend to be in pretty good shape running back and forth on those courts. So probably,
those Sunbelt refs though,
alright.
man, they miss leg day, man. They're all bulky at like up top, and they're weirdly bulky up top. like
They
they're
look like
taking,
video game like sprites on the court.
yes, yeah, they are weird looking,
The
weirdly
tri-
proportioned people.
triangle-bodied people. Yeah, let's make
Yes.
fun of the refs. I mean, I'm always down for making fun of refs. They're
Let's make fun of
the
their
Sunbelt refs
bodies. They're very fit bodies.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, don't you be round like a basketball like me, ref? Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
The Kool-Aid man
I
busting in.
didn't skip leg day. I skipped all the days. I drank a beer instead.
Yeah, I did not skip beer day. I was there for beer day the entire time. Yeah. Man. So yeah, basketball. 2-1, looking good. Put together. Games coming up.
People are expressing concern, but I just think that it's the very beginning of a very first year head coach, right? He's not been a head coach before, and he's getting his team together. I think he's figuring out what he doesn't have and what he does have and what he needs, and I think we're just figuring a lot of stuff out. And I think this season might not go great, and that we gotta take that. And I don't think we can. I mean, of course it depends, but like we can't judge them too harshly based on the results of even the first season. And hopefully we grow. That's the key, right? That's the key metric is next season. How much better do we do?
And even then, you got to give a coach like 3 years before you really know what they have, because the first year they got to get their recruits coming in the following year, and then those guys sit a little bit until they get a chance to experience.
Better. How much better do you do?
Yeah. I think that I'm still sold on Coach Hayes.
Me too.
It'll be interesting to see when we start conference play what this team looks like against the conference competition. And I think as somebody said, this team still has the ability to maybe not win the regular season in Sunbelt, but still find a way to win in Pensacola. We're still looking at a team that's we can look at an NCAA bid already at this point, I think. Well, what do I know?
I think the leashes on head coaches are shorter right now because of the transfer portal and instant playing when you transfer. Like, do you get 3 years? Do you only get 2? I don't know. I mean, you got if you look at football, you have schools firing head coaches after a year, half a year.
That's crazy.
Let me introduce you to Charlie Cobb. How many coaches has he fired? He fired Trent Miles, not his hire. He fired Greg Frady, not his hire. Greg Frady had been here forever. And then he fired the women's basketball coach, not his hire. So yeah, I don't think that Hayes has got.
Oh no, he's
got
plenty
of time. Coach Elliott's gone before Hayes is, and Coach Elliott ain't going anywhere. So
I'm still excited about Hayes, though. I just think that he's been doing a really good job on the recruiting front, and that just takes a little time to pay dividends. And so I think that, like I said, I just want to see better next year, and that will be enough.
we're six games into the season. We're going to see a lot.
I know,
We're
we're
gonna
already
have a lot
talking
of
next
different
year,
opinions
right?
of right? Yeah. We have a lot, and there's no reason to even discuss Hayes in any kind of hot seat. It's pointless. There's no reason to talk about it.
No, I don't think
So
anyone was doing that.
no. So
I
all
like
right,
our team. I
cool.
like our players. I think we got some athletic players. I just wish we could shoot threes a little bit better right now.
I wish we
Like,
could shoot at
something-
all. Those layups too. The layups are rough.
Layups are, those are tough. That's one of the harder shots in basketball. So I'm not faulting the team. For any of that.
This Belmont team we have coming in on Sunday, they put up 96 points against Howard in their game last week or this past weekend. So we're gonna have to,
learn how to score some points.
Learn how to score some points.
Fast.
I also noticed that right now, this is kind of embarrassing. It's early in the season, but Kennesaw has a better ESPN BPI ranking than we do. They're 238 out of the 3 billion teams that are play basketball. We're 246, so 8 teams ahead of us.
Well, I'm not too worried about 8
I just don't like
teams
seeing
in the
Kennesaw say
200s.
Norm makes a good point. He says a lot of injuries right now. It's true. We got to get healthy. If we want a chance to compete,
and stay healthy
in the Sun Belt, we got to be healthy.
Yeah.
Yep.
We don't have a
Grant
deep bench.
says that Hudson needs to be in the starting lineup ASAP every game. Okay, sure. I don't know enough about basketball to say if that's true.
I like Hudson. I mean, at the first few games of the season, I thought Hudson was outperforming everyone, but then Odom's kind of taking the star and the light. And I don't mind Hudson coming off the bench. He still gets tons of minutes playing. He might be starting with all the injuries. We'll have to find out in some of the next games. So I don't disagree with Grant on that one. He could be a starter.
So what else we got? Julian says we need a veteran big out of the portal and a consistent score for sure. Veteran big. We've always struggled with getting big guys in there.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Hunter gave up on it basically.
All guards.
He just was like, "Oh, we're a guard team. We're just not going to have height, basically." And then that's what everybody said when we got to the NCAA's. They're like, "Oh, that's good enough to win the Sun Belt, but you're not going to make it far in the tournament without bigs." So, unless you have a super shot guy like RJ to do something. Yeah.
So
right, and that's the only year that we made it past the first round. So. It is what it is. You got to have some bigs, and we struggle recruiting there. But it seems like Hayes, like I said, Hayes has got his recruiting pipeline seems pretty solid. I think it's going to pay us dividends in the long run.
I agree. We already looked at the guys that are committed to next year's squad, and I'm just saying that looks great. I love it. We have that 1 7-footer or whatever, but how much do they actually see the court in their very first year? So it's going to be a couple of years. So as whoever said earlier, it's a transitional period for us. But we're 4-2. We're 4-2. We've lost by a combined 3 points. We got a long season left. I'm still feeling good about it. I'm looking forward to it. And man, just going to those games at Convocation Center is badass. But they need to figure out their alcohol crap. What the hell?
They need to figure out a lot of things.
Fortunately, we found our way into the pack event, and we've gotten some booze that we did not pay for. But I don't want to pay for beer. I want to be able to.
Which is always nice, right?
I want to be able to pay for beer in there.
Yeah. I don't need to be scheming to get down there and figuring that stuff out. And I just want to be able to go buy a beer.
We've gotten in there because other people have not been able to go to games, and that's not a good way to get in because I want those people at the games.
Right.
We also got to figure out.
And the bigger games. What are we going to do? Georgia Tech. I was screwed. You did your thing. I'm not going to say it on the podcast. You did your thing. You got booze. I felt like I was the only one in the building that didn't have access to booze. There were plenty of people in the building that didn't have access to booze, but it
pretty much the building.
Well, to be fair, none of us needed booze after that football game either. So
no, I had pumped my brakes. I was managing, and then all of a sudden I had nothing, and I left that place sober. I'll tell you what.
Oh no, that's horrible. That's horrible.
I mismanaged my day. I overcompensated because I was like, man, it's gonna be a long day. I need to watch out. And
that's just your fault. That's your fault for being responsible. Responsibility does not look good on you, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
Do you think they'll be selling tall boys, or what do you call the 24 ouncers? The big boys? What are those? Mega?
anything bigger than a 12-ounce, I call it a tall boy. Like even those like 16-ounce PBRs, I call a tall boy.
Yeah.
The
I hope they're
24-ounce
tall
ones,
boys.
no, I would imagine they're not going to do that. They're probably going to have
12-ounce cans.
12-ounce. No, what Georgia State's going to do? They're going to have 12-ounce cans, but they're going to buy like 20-ounce cups. So you're going to pour this beer because they're going to pour beer into the cup because you can't carry it out on the court with you, and you're going to look like, oh, look, I got half a beer. Is what it's going to look like. That's the state way. That's what I predict, at least.
I don't like Norm's comment, by the way. Do you see it?
Oh, what's we got here? I'm betting
Norm,
we won't get our alcohol
juju.
license for at least. No, Norm.
I bet the under on that. I bet the under.
Dadgummit. Golly gee, Norm. Golly gee, Norm. That's not going to be the way it is. Golly
Does anyone
Willikers.
know people in government to get us this liquor license we need?
They don't like me.
Well, yeah, Ryan's pissed off everybody in government, so
yeah,
he's not
they
going to
don't like me. Yeah, they actually the reason all this is happening is because I have it's this podcast and me. Yeah.
Oh, dude,
yeah.
This podcast should never get. Well, I guess it could get blamed for not allowing alcohol because they don't want our shenanigans going on in there. But we find a way, anyways. Speaking of tailgating, we got to figure out our tailgating situation for basketball games because it's pretty garbage right now. Carter has that corner by the torch, or that torch, but I guess it's torch, the Olympic rings blocked off, so you can't park over there. We've been setting up in the middle of the lot these couple of games I went to.
I brought bags of beer.
Ryan walks up with his like a blue bag with some PBR tall boys.
My Kroger delivery bag. Full of beer. But it's because the thing is it's cold enough that it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna bring my bag of beer.
So when the Publix opens, should we just like tailgate in the Publix shop lot and just like walk in there, grab a case of beer, sit down in the middle of the Publix lot, and tailgate there?
Perfect. Get some chicken wings, maybe a pub sub, and just sit out there and that this sounds perfect. This is great. I'm in.
I was thinking either, since there's no parking deck yet, we could tailgate over by the retaining wall right on the front side of the lot, or where the fence is by the front, just tailgate there at the end because there's no like drive-through, right?
Can we still grab pub subs?
You can get
once Publix is open. Yeah.
What? What'd you say, David?
Was it? Yeah, you can get your pub sub. You can have your sandwich. You'd be good. I don't know. I just kind of want like just in the middle of the blue lot. It just seems like a very just drab place to tell you. I wanted to be up there by the Olympic rings and like get really drunk and convince people to climb up the stairs and go up there and see what happens.
This is why, like, you're not convincing them to let us do this. No one would do that. No one would, David. No one would do that. No one would do that. Not even you. You wouldn't even try it. No, David, stop it. Listen to me. No one would do that. No one.
All right. So Grant brings up a question. Why can't we get the Sun Belt Championship banners and NCAA tournament banners inside this the Convocation Center?
Are they not there?
Maybe they're getting new ones. I don't know.
Are they not there? Really?
Well,
I mean, I don't look for that stuff.
There is so much white wall in there. We got to do something with it. Like, just we got to put something up. I don't care if it's just murals of graduations and basketball games and whatever else, but it's kind of drab. Like it's a gorgeous facility for basketball and whatever else they want to do with it, but there's too much white wall in there. We need some stuff in there. And
but wait, are the banners really not there already?
They're not. No.
There's such a lack of thought that has gone into every single aspect of this, where they just, I mean, it's like they built the building and they were like, cool, we're done.
Well, I think
no
right
beer,
before
no nothing.
Our first game, they're like, shit, we need an American flag. And they went to like Costco and got one and then just like hung it up. They're like, it's wrinkled. It's fine.
Oh yeah, you're right. And then I meant to bring this up after the very first game in there because people took pictures from behind like those seats on the end section, and you actually, if you're sitting in that top row, the American flag actually blocks the basketball court, the basket on that end of the stadium, the arena. So I'm like, yeah, did anybody set it up and then go back and look at what it looks like? Come on, if they turned the flag,
no thought.
If they had turned the flag a landscape instead of portrait, you'd be totally fine. I don't know if that's something that can't be done or whatever, but yeah, it's.
I think the first game I
Yeah.
didn't even see the flag actually hanging from the rafters. I thought it was I thought we were just gonna look at the ribbon board, which is playing an American flag. But still, I'm just like, I don't know.
We do need to get at least the Sunbelt schools up somewhere before we start Sunbelt play, right? I mean,
No.
No,
I
you
do
don't
not
want to see them. No.
I don't want their. That's one of the things I hated about being in the sports arena, or just that we did in the sports arena. I don't want to see that. We're in a garbage conference. I don't want to see those garbage teams in our stadium. I don't want those logos in there. I mean, not obviously not Trash Down South, but I don't want any of them in there. I don't want to acknowledge we're in that shit. We're in this shit conference. No, I don't. No.
And honestly,
No.
I don't care about this very much. Like in a vacuum, like if it was just this, but it was pointed out that even the SBC logo is upside down at the on the court, it's like it's just a little thing, right? And really in a vacuum, I don't care, but so many little things. There just is such little thought went into everything, just all the bits and pieces, and it's really a shame.
I'm wondering if they actually just put it on the wrong side of the court, like because the Sunbelt logo is correct if you move it to the other side of the court. And the guy that has installed it, he placed him down wrong. She.
I want to say we're just trying to be different. We want to be different from every other conference school.
I don't think there was a want. I don't think there was a want. I think they just were like, these stickers need to go on the court, and they just put them on there, and they didn't think at all. They didn't look at how it was before. They didn't care. They just were like, stickers go here.
We're done.
We're done. We are the only we're the only conference where the logo faces the basket and not the player, right? Yeah.
The only
school in the conference.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry if whatever I said. Yes, we are the only team in conference where the Sunbelt logo faces the basket, not the player. And so some people said that's why so that when the camera angle looks down for free throws, it's showing the Sunbelt logo right side to the TV. All right, fine. It looks weird.
Watching.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm watching from my seat, so it's backwards, upside down.
It's all sideways. It's sideways.
It's all sideways anyway. Like I said,
we should have double.
Care a whole lot, but it just lends itself to the whole on caring thing.
Yeah,
there was just very, very little thought put into a lot of the pieces. I mean, even the pack events. There was $1,000 to go to pack events. It got switched at some point. I don't know when. And now it's every single game. And they serve Jimmy John's and chicken fingers down there for $2,500.
We had 6 feet under.
And Chick-fil-A.
Chicken fingers from 6 feet under. We didn't have like shrimp baskets.
Chick-fil-A.
No, we didn't have. They did Chick-fil-A down there.
Jimmy John's yesterday. Little sandwiches.
Oh man. If I told my wife that there would be Jimmy John's at basketball games, she would go to basketball games. We had Jimmy John's for lunch today.
Well, she paid $2,500 to go to. Because you can just buy Jimmy John's, right? You can just buy it and have it delivered for way cheaper. That's sort of the point I'm making. Is it's not exactly an investment.
We're just outside the radius. We're just outside. No, but I'm not kidding you. I buy 2 tickets to the game I've season. I can't talk. I have 2 season tickets. My wife never comes to games. If I told her I had access to the pack event and there'd be Jimmy John's there, she'd be like, "We'll get a sitter."
Okay.
Like, she loves Jimmy. She
what
loves.
What do people like
Jimmy
about
John's.
Jimmy John's so much? Because she's not alone.
I don't know.
It's the bread is plain as all get out, and like it's just
I guarantee you,
tomato and lettuce.
I guarantee you, if you asked her, the bread would be the number one thing. She's a bread connoisseur. Or
it's just plain ass bread.
Like, it's the same thing with Hero Donuts in Summerhill.
Well,
like the burger. I know, but when she talks about the burger, because the burger is great at Hero, but her first thing she says is the bun. The bun. It's totally so soft.
No, I get her there.
It's so good.
Jimmy John's the bun is just a plain ass shitty. It's half stale. It's not good.
When I go to Jimmy John's, I actually get the unwich. I get it wrapped in lettuce instead of the bread because I'm trying to watch my weight because I'm drinking too much.
You got to cut the calories elsewhere.
You drink your bread.
I drink
your bread. Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
I feel like we
how
might
did
be getting
go?
into last call territory.
We
Like
are.
shit talking Jimmy Jones.
Yeah. All right, yeah, we'll go to last call. I want to point out one thing before we go. Women's basketball, not doing so hot, but I just went back and look at their schedule. They played Agnes Scott, was like for their first the real game. It's the only one they won. They beat Agnes Scott 114 to 31. They beat the ever living shit out of Agnes Scott, who I did. Which, to be fair, I did not know how to basketball program. But my God, you could almost multiply that Agnes Scott score by 4 and equal. It's 3. You can book it by 3. They scored more than 3 times. They scored almost 4 times the score of Agnes Scott. That is just one of those just absolute absurd scores. It's crazy. So
That's
congrats
like
to the ladies
pedal to the metal, right? They didn't take the gas off. They're just like, nope, we're gonna keep going.
Or did they? Or did they? They're kind of like, seriously, is no one gonna stop me from shooting the ball because I just got down here. So they were. I didn't get the final score, but they were beating Winthrop tonight. Winthrop 68-42 with like a minute to go. So I think that they probably won that game. So congrats to the ladies. And Ryan's favorite coach. Coach, what's his name?
Who?
Ryan? Coach? Yeah, exactly. Coach
Huh? What's happening?
All right.
This isn't where I
favorite
are.
coach.
Yeah.
You don't know who
All
it
right.
is? No.
He checked out. I said women's basketball, and Ryan completely checked out of the conversation. He's like,
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. I commented.
All right. You commented.
I don't know the coach's name. I never know it. It's not because I checked out. I
you
literally never remember it.
He bought you beer.
A lot of it. And I appreciated it and said thank you to Coach.
Thank you.
So and so.
Coach who?
Gene Hill. Coach Gene Hill. Thank you, Coach.
Hill. He's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. I'm really bad with names, especially names that I don't like come in contact with very often. And
I feel like
it's offensive at this point.
Politics is not your strong suit if you can't remember names. Like that's kind of a thing. You need to be able to like.
No, it's offensive at this point, and there's not a whole lot I can do about it. And I do apologize, but I do not think that I'll remember that name anytime soon.
What is our defensive coordinator name? Football defensive coordinator. We had an entire episode title on it.
What the?
What
the Fuquay?
Fuquay. All right.
That's a good title. We call it that. What the Fuquay? That's a good title.
No. It's pronounced It's pronounced Fuquay is where you pronounce it. And then this episode should be called Fuquay, that second half against James Madison. All right, cool. Last call. Find it on our Patreon page, patreon.com/State of Atlanta. It's free of charge. Comes out on Fridays. Unless you're a Patreon member for $3, starting at $3 a month, gives you early access to Last Call, as well as access to our group chat, which we talk about Georgia State all day, every day. A lot of fun stuff there, discounts on merchandise, all that kind of stuff. Please consider joining, help us support the channel. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
Peace.